Hey guys, it's me back again for my book documentary, as I call it, quotes unquotes. It's just a bunch of YouTube videos, and it's been really fun documenting my process. This is actually video number 6, so I'm doing every 2 weeks. So I've been at this for a couple of months now, and the headline is I picked a name for the book, but I'm not going to tell you that right away. I'll tell you in a minute because picking the name, like essentially I had to learn and relearn the lessons that I'm outlining in this book. And it wasn't until I actually was writing the section. So I have this framework that right now I'm calling the 6 principles of strategic authenticity. And one of those principles, it spells humans. The M is for model. And what I talk a lot about is that it's not just about the words. In fact, it's more about how you demonstrate. And actually, I think the section I call Shut Up and Show Up. And so I'm writing this section and I'm talking about the importance of your actions and demonstrating, not just at work, but also with your kids, and that this is a key component to authenticity. At the same time, I had been wavering for months on my book title because, let's be honest, that's like the thing you think about all the time. So, there's the hard work, there's writing the words, and I'm up to about 42,000 words, so I'm getting really close. I'm working on the last section, so I'm in the final stretch of my first draft of the manuscript, and so I am putting in the hard work, but you can't help but constantly go back, what am I going to call this thing? That's the fun, sexy part. And we learn all the rules. So, first of all, I learned in a group that I'm part of, here are the 5 book title tests. And here are the sort of things, especially when you're unknown, how do you name this something that people are going to want to pick off the shelves, even if they have no idea who you are and you don't have necessarily the notoriety. So I learned all of those things, and I had a number of titles, and then, the title that I picked as that just didn't sit right. So then I went through a process and I just kept coming up with new names, and I tested it with folks in particular on our Facebook group for the Because podcast. We have a private Facebook group that anyone can join. And so a very active, engaged group. And so a couple times I did some polls and got feedback. And I mentioned on one of my earlier videos how I literally, one of the titles, I basically was called a hypocrite because it just didn't feel authentic. And the title that I actually chose, I actually put out to this group, and they didn't necessarily really warm to it. There weren't a lot of votes. And quite frankly, when I said this title to my book coach, because every so often I'll how about this? She was pretty lukewarm on it too. But it was as I was writing this section on modeling and really thinking about the fact that everything I do also needs to model what I'm talking about. It's this weird, fourth dimension. I started thinking about this title again, and it was one I hadn't always had on the mind, but I really liked it. And I thought about, okay, I need to model authenticity. I need to walk the walk, and I need to pick a title that maybe it's just that people don't see it how I see it. So I went through an exercise, and I took my top 3 titles and I put it into just an online design platform called Canva. And I thought, I kind of feel with the titles it's like looking at a wedding dress on the rack for all you ladies, right? Some of those wedding dresses look really crappy on the rack, but when you put them on, they're beautiful. And quite frankly, vice versa, right? You might think it looks beautiful, and then you put it on and you're like, no, that's not the one. So I threw 3 different titles, including this one that I had sort of at the moment had my heart set on, into that. And as soon as I put it in there, I knew it was my wedding dress. And, I remember meeting with my book coach, and I'm like, look, I know you don't like it, but I am fine. I am convicted. This is the title. This is the title I'm meant to write. And here's why. And here are all the reasons I like it so much. And, so it's a lesson for you guys. Sometimes you learn how to do something, and it just doesn't feel right. And, it's great to get people's feedback. I did this back when I was thinking about taking big job changes. And quite frankly, some of the people's feedback was I think that's going to be too much. You're not going to be able to balance your family. And so you also have to learn how to filter. You need to get that feedback, but you really need to have it sit in you and say, what is authentically me? And it's a lesson I just keep learning and relearning, and it's been so interesting. So the book title. The book title I've landed on is called You Do You-ish, an executive guide to authentic success. And I'm really excited about it. And the reason I love it is, I want people to know this book is for you. Like, this is not a dissertation. Like, I am writing this like straight, hopefully, into your souls. Like, I am talking to you. I am encouraging you. I'm bringing that energy. And so I love that it speaks to the you. The ish is meant to create a little bit of curiosity. Like, wait a minute. She said, you do you-ish. What does that mean? And a lot of that's what the book's about. Like, authenticity is not simply transparency. It's not simply you being you. There's a much richer definition that you can adopt and you can also strategically use. And then I really liked, of course, that it mentioned that it was a guide to authentic success. And that's really what I'm promising out of this. And so I'm excited. I'm starting to work with a designer. We're actually looking at launch later this year, which is crazy. It's going much faster than I thought. Still a lot of work to do, but I'm excited. And I'm excited to share this with you. I hope that it inspires you, whether you're wrestling with, a decision in a job you're taking, or maybe it's a project in which direction to take, or it's feedback from your spouse on something you're doing. Like, you need to get that input. And you need to know when to make the decision, what's good for you. So I hope you do that. Thanks for listening in. I will be back in a couple of weeks with more on my progress. Thanks. Bye.